Perfect. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Daniel Bishan, a business advisor, also known as hashtag the business advisor here at the City of Brampton. And I will be your host for this morning's Entrepreneurs Connect webinar on successful marketing your small business with photos and videos. The session is hosted by the City of Brampton Entrepreneur Center in partnership with TD Bank. For those who are unfamiliar with the Brampton Entrepreneur Center, we are an innovative partnership between the province of Ontario and the City of Brampton, belonging to a network of 54 small business enterprise centers across Ontario that offers entrepreneurs various tools and resources to start and grow their business. I would like to pay special attention to our series partner, TD Bank. Without their generosity and their ongoing support of our center, events like this would not be possible. Before I begin, I would like to go over a few housekeeping items. Oops. The webinar will be recorded and a copy will be made available on the City of Brampton's Economic Development YouTube account. A link of the recording will be sent to you. There will be time for Q&A at the end of the session. Everyone will remain muted, so please use the question box on your participant control panel to type the question or raise your hand. If you do raise your hand, I will unmute you. This will give you the opportunity to ask direct questions. In the event we are unable to get to your question this morning, you are welcome to email us directly. It is a pleasure for me to be introducing Daniel Gwira, our speaker this morning, who will be teaching you some of the key principles of photography and videography marketing in your small business and how to make the use of the best tools at your fingertips. Daniel is best known for his work in advertising and food photography. Daniel grew up in London, England, and moved to Canada when he was only 6 years old. He has been living in Brampton, Ontario for the last 18 years. He received his BSc in biology from Ryerson University. With his extensive background in graphic design, after graduating, he decided to further his passion for design and photography. When he's not scoring, dribbling, behancing, or Pinteresting, for inspiration, Daniel spends a chunk of time reading food magazines and watching the Premier Legal highlights. Please join me in welcoming Daniel Gwira. Daniel?
Dan, thank you so much, my guy. That was a phenomenal introduction. I don't even know what to say. I'm feeling kind of taken aback right now. But let's jump right into this thing and let's get started talking about marketing with photo and video. So today, guys, our goal is to kind of help you understand the importance of marketing with photo and video, why it's so pivotal to be heavily invested in your marketing, and how you can get started right now. So I want you guys to blow up the chat box. If you need an LOL, if you drop a couple emojis in there. If you got to ask questions, throw them all in the chat box, and we can get started answering those the moment we finish. I'm going to breeze through this presentation. It's kind of long, but I want to be done and out of here on time. So without further ado, let's hop in and get this thing started. This is me. My name is Daniel Gwira. I don't know what more to say because Dan has fully introduced me. Ryerson University was my university. I studied biology, but I love photo and video work. I started really early in my teens, and it kind of evolved. So after I graduated, this is what I wanted to do, and it was a tough decision, but we're here. So I work at two companies. Noya Designs, which is my agency, and Silo Creative, which is my new agency which I'm starting up. And we just tackle photography and videography for small to medium businesses. And that's essentially all there is to me. I love cooking. I like food. I love soccer. Manchester United, that's my team. And yeah, let's jump right in. So it's only a photo. This is what I hear from all of my clients when we're talking about their marketing plan and their strategy. And the fact of the matter is, it's always more than. This line is such a crazy line to say because when you deep how incredible photo and video are, you kind of want to put your best foot forward at all times. First impressions are super important, and you never get a second chance at a first impression. This was a quote by Oscar Wilde, who was a famous philanthropist and philosopher. And I kind of agree with it wholeheartedly. When it comes to like people, it's a little bit different. I believe that nobody can make or break you, and anybody can change and become a better person. But when it comes to marketing, first impressions are mad important. And we're going to talk about why. So let's jump right in. So let me paint a picture for you. You are at home, right? You are vibing, you're by yourself. It's COVID season, right? So no one's going anywhere. You're a little bit lonely. You want someone to talk to. So being a millennial, what you do, you hop on some of these apps, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, shout out Hinge, so you start swiping, you start scrolling, and you come across two people, right? The first guy is this guy right here. He doesn't look the best. Okay, he's not the best looking guy, hair is kind of crazy, right? Beard's a little patchy or whatever. He's drinking milkshake from Dairy Queen, even though he's lactose intolerant, right? This guy right here, I don't know. He has like a 32 credit score, TransUnion and Equifax. He looks kind of, kind of shady, a little bit dodgy. So you don't want to talk to this guy. But somebody like this, now this guy right here, I think we can talk to this guy. This guy, he's kind of cool, kind of cute looking, nice white smile, right? Wearing a nice cute little watch or whatever. Got a turtleneck on, forest green and dark prince jeans. He knows fashion, all right? A GQ kind of man here, this guy. And it's important to understand that these two things, even though they're just photos, they tell you so much about a person. And we base a lot of what we feel and how we act based on what we see. So it's important to always remember that you have to put your best foot forward when it comes to your photos. Photos are a pivotal part of your identity, right? So as a business owner, you have to kind of establish your identity, right? And it's imperative that whatever your identity is, your marketing material from your photos to your branding to your video aligns with what your identity is. Because when that doesn't happen, you end up with a mismatch and you're sending two different messages to your customers and your target demographic, and that's never good for business. So you must identify your vertical. There are essentially three verticals that are out here, and I feel like every business falls into one of these: the value vertical, the benefit vertical, or the quality vertical. It's your job as a business owner to identify where you fall and to kind of build your marketing plan, your branding plan, your photo and video strategy around these verticals. So I'm going to paint you another picture. All right. You go home and your mom's like, hey, we got your nephews and nieces coming over. Go to the store. Here's $10. Buy me some snacks. All right. I know what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to No Frills, right? And I'm going to grab as many of these as I can find. The fudge striped shortbread cookies, they aren't the best tasting cookies, but you know what they are? They're cheap, right? $1.50, $1.75. If you go great value, $1.35, right? Shout out Walmart. And you grab as many of these as possible because why? You're feeding little kids, right? We don't care about the taste. We don't care about, the fanciness about it. We just want some cookies. You're going to grab 5 of these packs. You're going to go home. And you're going to give this to your mom. Be like, Mom, I got these cookies. They're great. And she'll be like, perfect. You got the job done. But this cookie package here tells a story, right? This brand is what people want when they want something quick. They don't really care about the quality. I want something right now. Now, if it's just you by yourself, right, you're studying, you want a late night snack, you're going to get something a little bit better because you know what? It's me. I work hard. I deserve nice things. You're going to go to the store. You're going to grab some Oreos, right? If you're feeling fancy, double stuffed or cinnamon bun, peanut butter chocolate, mint chocolate chip, you're gonna grab some Oreos because it kind of aligns with what you're feeling right now. You don't want the cheap cookies, you know, you don't want those. You want something, you know, a little bit up there. And those are Oreos. $3 for a box. You can't go wrong. Tastes good, tastes great. Now, the last case scenario is the day after payday, right? I work downtown, and there's this wonderful cookie spot called La Gourmande, and they sell the greatest cookies known to man. They are $3 a pop per cookie, but I promise you, if heaven was a cookie, it would be this cookie right here. It's so good. It's hot. It's chewy. It's fudgy. It's an experience, an immersive experience. But it's $3 per cookie. Now, I'm only get these cookies the day after payday. So what, tomorrow or Friday, I'm gonna grab these. They're kind of expensive, all right? For people in university, the day after OSAP hits, you grab these cookies because you know what? They're an amazing experience, but they're a little bit more expensive on the pricier side. Now, each three of these brands fall into a vertical, and they've marketed themselves as such using their photo, their branding, all together to give you an experience. We're going to look at two brands right now, and we're going to once again look at how your photo and video tells a story about you. This is brand number one, and this is brand number two, right? Now, these are their hero images. So the first thing you see on their site are these two photos, right? These two brands both sell the same thing. They both sell a t-shirt, right? A black t-shirt with a pocket on the left breast. That's the only thing they sell, right? The exact same thing. A ripped crew neck, pocket on the left chest, 100% cotton, right? But they're priced differently. And why is that? There are many reasons, even though they're the same shirt made in the same factory, the photos and the video and the branding, how they've established themselves, allows them to charge differently for what they're selling. The first brand on the left is Old Navy. The brand on the right is Zara. Shout out Zara. You have to understand that these two pictures tell a very different story, right? I can look at the picture on the right and know that this is kind of an expensive, a little bit of an edgy, trendy kind of brand. No, that's kind of cool. The guy on the left, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more laid back. You know what I mean? It's a really gentle looking kind of, you know what I mean? Something really nice. But the guy on the left is a little bit more fancy. You know, you got harsh light on the face. You know, strong shadows. He's even like not even smiling, right? And these all add to the vibe. It all adds to the unique branding vertical that they have aligned themselves in. And it's important to know what your vertical is so your photos can tell that similar story. Photos always solidify your position. Whether you are a value brand or a quality brand or a benefit brand, your photo and video marketing materials should be able to enhance the position that you stand in. So let's talk about technique. I didn't want to make this too big of a technique kind of thing, not too techy, because I don't know where we all are in our photo, creative, video journey, but I'm gonna touch on it really briefly because I think it's important to know should you want to do anything a little bit more serious. So the big three. These are the three components to any photo ever taken in the whole wide world: your shutter speed, your aperture, and your ISO. In physics, they give you these little triangles, you know, mass, density, and weight, I think. It's been a while since I've done physics. These little triangles, and this is also similarly a triangle to which you kind of mix and match these different qualities to kind of get a specific look in your photos, right? So let's talk about shutter speed. So shutter speed is essentially how long your shutter remains open for. When you press down your shutter button, you have a couple of seconds or milliseconds for the camera to capture in light through the sensor. This is what the shutter speed does. It controls how fast or how slow the shutter opens and closes. Now, the main function of the shutter speed is to kind of control motion. So fast shutter speeds slow things down, and slow shutter speeds allow for longer exposures, allowing more light into the camera, right? When the camera is open for longer, you get more light. When the camera is open for less, you get less light. two examples here. These are both marketing material shot using this technique alone, talking about shutter speed. The photo on the left is done with a really, really low shutter speed. So they allowed the camera to be open for a long time, and they passed an LED light in front of the bottle to give a light trail effect, right? And the photo on the left is a little bit different. You have a lady who's running. Now, when you're running, you're in constant motion. So we wanted to freeze this lady in motion. So what did we do? We had a really, really, really fast shutter speed. So we captured her exactly where she is in that point in time. Aperture. This is the openness and closeness of your lens. Now, I know openness and closeness is kind of like some kind of weird words or whatever, but we're essentially talking about how much focus we are allowing to give to a subject. So the lower your f-stop, the less focus you get. And this is how you get, blurry backgrounds, a little bit of a bokeh, hazy effect, right? And higher f-stops allow for everything to be in focus. Let's take a look at this. This diagram right here kind of explains what we're talking about with this, right? The lower your f-stop, the brighter your photos will be, but the less focused things will be, right? And the higher you go, the more focused things are going to be for you. And you can see the whole picture clearly. A real life example is in these two photos right here. The bottle on the left, we see, some nice cherry moonshine or whatever. It's there, but the background is not clear. We don't know what's going on. It's a little bit blurry. It gives you a little bit of creamy bokeh effect, a little bit fancy schmancy. We see some snow in the background, but we can't really tell it's snow. This is all part of having a low f-stop in the picture. Now, a photo on the right, it shows us edge-to-edge crystal clear quality. We see every elderflower, every slice of grapefruit or passion fruit that is in this photo. And that's because we have a high f-stop allowing us to capture all the information inside our scene. Now, the ISO. The ISO is essentially the absolute last thing you want to adjust on your camera. It kind of establishes and shows you how sensitive your sensor is to light. So it's kind of like a multiplier. When you have higher ISOs, you get stronger light, you get more light inside, but you get more grain. And lower ISOs give you less light, but you get a better quality, as illustrated right over here. Photography is creative, so you have to find out what works for you. There are only a few hard and fast rules that you want to abide by all the time. And some of these are kind of talking about your exposures and so on and so forth. So let's jump right into the two types of photos you need for e-commerce. If you're planning on selling anything online, this is it right here. There are only two types of photos that you will need when we're talking about e-commerce, and the earlier you hone on these, the better it is for all of us, right? The first one is your pack shot. Now, your pack shot is your product or your photo on a white background, similar to these, and this goes inside your store, right? If you're using Shopify or if you're using WooCommerce, you want to have crystal clear pack shot photos in your store. Why? Because it looks good. And this is what people are about to buy. They want to see the best reflection of your product as possible. Once again, you want to put your best foot forward when it comes to marketing, right? We only have a few moments to capture somebody's attention and decide whether I'm going to buy this product or not. So, exposure. This is one of the biggest things when it comes to photography. We don't care about anything else. Make sure your photo is exposed properly. The photo in the middle is perfectly exposed pack shot photo. I can see everything clearly. It's pretty bright. It shows me the shadows and highlights. I can see it all. The photo on the left is a little bit underexposed. It's not bright enough. We can't see what's going on. It's hard to read. It's a little bit dark, like someone turned the lights off, right? And the photo on the right, it's overexposed. We're seeing a lot of clipping, a lot of whites that are blending in. It's hard to tell what's going on. Loss of quality, loss of function, overexposed. You want to aim for a perfectly exposed photo so that you can put it in your store and come up with amazing results. These are examples of a store with perfectly exposed, wonderful photos. Once again, when you're selling things online, especially, you want to have the best foot forward, especially in your store. So spend the time. We're going to talk about how to get these kind of photos later in this talk, and invest in having a wonderful photo for your store, because this is kind of like the last barrier to entry. After this, someone's going to decide whether I want to buy this product or not. So it's imperative that you put your best foot forward in your pack shot photos. Another example, apparel people. If you're selling apparel, you want to have synonymity between all of your photos. The same kind of background, the same kind of style throughout all your photos, because it aligns with your vertical, right? You don't want to have something crazy and wacky in one store photo and something kind of dark and moody in another store photo. You have to kind of keep it all relatively the same, so you're giving off the same kind of vibe, the same kind of energy, right? It's all about synonymity. So the second type of photo you need are hero images. Hero images are the fancy stuff, the cool looking stuff. This is like your front page on your website. This is like in your Instagram photos. This is something that's like, wow, that's a crazy ass product. That's pretty cool. These things are kind of things that draw your attention. They're really attention grabbing things. It's like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. I kind of want to mess with that. These are all examples of hero images, right? And they kind of showcase your product in a unique and a vibrant kind of way that allows you to, or a random customer to be like, I am kind of interested in this product because that looks kind of cool. This is where you can really get creative with your marketing. When it comes to hero images and so on and so forth, this is where you want to kind of pull all the stops out, do something wild, something crazy, right? Something that's extremely like out of whack. You can do whatever you want when it comes to your hero images. There's nothing stopping you, right? This is where you can really allow your personality and your brand to shine when it comes to your photography. So people who do service-based industries, you guys aren't going to use much pack shot stuff. It's going to be a lot of the hero stuff, right? Because there isn't nothing to sell except for your time. So all my service-based folks, focus on your hero images because that's what is for you. Pack shot's like more for my e-commerce people, my Shopify store guys, WooCommerce gals, that's for you. So let's talk about balling on a budget. A lot of times I hear people talk about, oh, it's so expensive. Oh my God, like it's so costly. I can't do this. This is out of the roof. And I'm here to tell you that it's not the case. There's a lot you can do with what you have right now, because you don't need to break the bank to get quality photo and video work done. But most of the times, what you have at your fingertips is more than sufficient enough to give quality impression of your small business or your brand. Now, this is something that I struggled with for a long time. And this is knowing that the best tool that you have is the one that you have on you right now. Earlier in my career, I spent a lot of my time worrying about getting the newest, the flashiest, the brand new stuff, the 4,000 megapixel camera with quadruple LED lighting and all this. And what I found was that I bought all these things and I didn't do any of the work, right? There will always be something better that you can buy. But the best thing you can do is do something with what you have right now. That's super important. So everyone has a smartphone here, I believe, or I would say most people have a smartphone here. iPhone, Android, I'm Android gang, but you know, iPhones, got to give it to them. Great stuff. With your smartphone right now, you can take amazing photos for yourself, your business, your brand. Because in this, we have a great camera that has come so far. The way we are with technology right now, you can do amazing advertising shoots, multi-level campaigns on a smartphone. You just have to know how to channel this energy. And when you're talking about light, you have the best light source possible, which is the sun, right? A lot of the times before I got really serious with my work, I was shooting products by a window because you get access to the sunlight, which is how you get great looking light for free. Absolutely free. So this is a quick setup on how you can take pack shot photos with what you have right now, right? We set up some foam core, right? $1 at the dollar store. Buy a window, free light source, hop on a chair or a step ladder, and you can get some amazing shots. And this is kind of what you would do if you have absolutely no alternative. Grab your smartphone, $1 at the dollar store, go to a window, and make some magic, right? Other alternatives, light boxes, easily accessible on Amazon, right? They come with LED lighting already installed. Patch up photos are a breeze with this thing for about like $30, right? I think it's like what, two Big Mac meals? Yeah, two or three Big Mac meals. You can grab you a light box, right? Wonderful photos like this are possible with these small tools, right? It's all about your application. So Bristol board, $1 at the dollar store is what you need to get some wavy pack shot, even some hero images, right? You kind of fold it against your wall, you set up your subject by a window, and you take some amazing things. And it doesn't have to be so simplistic. You can get creative with it. You can add different props, different items to give you a different style, different feel, all for $1. It's great. There are so many ways around photography that can make it super affordable for anybody. It's just about your imagination and getting creative. That's all it comes down to. Using your imagination and getting creative. The two biggest flexes when it comes to product photography. Contact paper. All my fellas and ladies who do skincare brands, makeup businesses, all this stuff, $5 at Home Depot gets you a really, really, really large roll of contact paper. They got different textures, different varieties. They got marble, granite, different colors. You can roll these out on some Bristol board again and have a cool surface to shoot all of your jewelry, makeup, whatever you see fit on it. Super cheap, super affordable. You can do it right now, maybe tomorrow, or right now, right? Let's talk about some free image editing software. So this is something that I love using all the time because not every day do I have access to my computer. So if I have to edit something real quick, I'm gonna use one of these four softwares: Canva, Snapseed, Photo, and Pixlr. These four guys, super stuff. Canva, all your graphic design needs, covers it all. Snapseed for photo imaging and editing, wonderful program. I think all four of these programs are extremely helpful and useful and are free for you to use, right? If you want to do a lot more, Adobe has the Photoshop bundle for, I think it's like $8 a month or so. Yeah, the price of like a Wendy's meal can get you Photoshop for the month, and like you can edit all your photos on Photoshop and Lightroom and be on your way. Super cool, super wonderful, super simple. Self timer. People who do service stuff, if it's only you by yourself, you have no friends, no one to help, you can use a self timer to take your photos for you. Hop on a tripod, put your phone on there, run around, pose yourself, and then press this button. You get amazing photos that you can use for your website or your flyers. It all comes down to practice, right? And having the right tools. In case you don't want to do any of the sort above, there are places where you can grab free stock photos and video too. So these are places where you can download some great stuff. I use it all the time. Unsplash, Pixabay, Pexels, all free to use. They have an amazing library. People submit stuff all the time. And this will give you a really professional look for your stuff if you don't have any time or you don't want to take anything or you're struggling to do things. Great place, great resource right here. Unsplash, one of my favorites. You just type in what you want to look for, and they'll give you a bunch of things related to that, and you can kind of go from there. When in doubt, you always want to be creative. This is like the fundamental thing when it comes to photography and videography. You have to kind of work through it. No one's going to be amazing the first time around, but after a while, you get used to things, you start learning, start adjusting, things get a whole lot better. So just buckle down, get ready, and start creating. So, our key takeaways. Photos matter. You want to make sure you're putting your best foot forward in your brand when it comes to your photos. And it's never too late. If you've done a whole bunch of stuff on your site right now, that's cool. Nothing is permanent. We can change it. We can make something brand new. It's never too late. Great creative helps people trust you. When it comes to the sale, it's not the person with the best budget or the best product that actually sells the most. It's kind of whatever looks the best, right? There's a lot of great looking garbage out there, and that's just how it is. But it looks good. I'm going to put up with it and focus on the fundamentals. Simple is wonderful. Simple is great. You can never go wrong with simple. A lot of the times it will help you if you keep things simple. If you are doing like a luxury type of thing, it's even more simpler because a whole bunch of theory surrounding luxury photography and videography is simplicity, right? It's all about keeping things simple and get creative. You always want to make sure that you are actively improving your video and photo skills for your marketing. It's super, super important. So let's talk about video, the elephant in the room. There are 4 types of video you should be using in your marketing. Only 4. I mean, these are the best 4. There are more. These are the best 4, and I would definitely recommend every single one of them. The first one is your explainer videos. Who are you? What do you do? What are you about? That's what is explained in these videos, right? It's really quick. It's really to the point. It kind of tells somebody who doesn't know anything about you who you are. Super important. Now, second one is user-generated content. This is huge. We have seen a big boom in influencer lifestyle, and that's because of UGC right over here. If you're in e-commerce, this is for you. This is it. Using user-generated content, it gives other people kind of like a real-life example of what your product looks like in their hands, right? And you don't need to pay influencers. You have a friend, you have a family, you got somebody, your homegirl sister's pet, your girlfriend's brother, who can take a video of your product, wearing it or kind of rocking it or doing something with it. And it's super valuable when it comes to uploading to your social media feeds, anywhere you go. Like, I would love to see you using your product, which is great. But somebody else using your product, hey, that's even better. I like that. That's kind of cool. Like, he used it like this. I can see that for myself, right? It's a big thing. UGC, capitalize on that. Use it as soon as possible. Testimonials. Testimonials are huge. If you are in service-based businesses, this should be your bread and butter. Every time you do something for somebody and they love your service, grab a testimonial video. Let them know that you can offer them an incentive for, talking to the camera real quick about how they enjoyed the experience, right? Nothing makes people want to work with you more than fear of missing out. And if John Doe had a great time working with you, dang, maybe I can have a great time too. Testimonials are a big part of making your service-based business look phenomenal. And video ads. When it comes to marketing, the next level above traditional marketing is advertising, paid advertising. If you're doing paid advertising, that's great. You're in a great part of your business, but take it to the next level with video advertisement in your paid media. It takes things to the whole next level because it performs a whole lot better, right? Video converts better, whether you like it or not. This is kind of what we've found over the past, 5-10 years. How much better video performs, it's insane. 90% of users say that the product videos are helpful in making a decision process, right? If you aren't capitalizing on video, you are definitely missing out. You need to be using video all throughout your marketing strategy. It's super important. 1,200%. See, this sounds like a fake number, but it's actually not. People love sharing video content more than they like sharing images or photo content. It just relates better. It's something about a video that I can tell more with a video than I can with a photo, right? It's super important. And consumers who end up on the site through UGC, right, are 184% more likely to purchase and spend 45% more. All my salespeople in e-commerce, pay attention. UGC is the way to go. Find as many people as you can, put your products in their hands, get them talking about it, and repurpose that content into content for you, your social media channels, a testimonial section on your website. Let people know what other people think about your product. Video keeps people more engaged. At the end of the day, it's all about attention. When you're scrolling on Instagram, think to yourself, how long do I spend actually looking at photos on IG, right? Be honest with yourself. How often, like, I think the average time is like 3 seconds or less than that. If you're just scrolling, like me, scroll, double tap, you aren't really paying attention, right? But with video, that 15-second clip that they get to give you on IG, if it's done properly, you'll press that watch more button. You'll watch a 5-minute IG live or a 5-minute Instagram TV video because video keeps people more engaged. It's all about attention. You want to have the attention on you as much as possible for as long as possible. And video has multiple uses. Repurpose. If you are someone who does long form content, there is so many gems that you can create with long form content. This talk, for example, that we're doing right now, if you record this could be a podcast episode, right? It could be a podcast episode. We can snip it up for Instagram content. It could be an IGTV. If you have some gems, you can make a TikTok. Like, there's so much you can do with video content, and it allows you to do a whole lot less with what you have right now. You can build up at least 1 to 2 weeks worth of content from one single long form video. It makes it super, super easy to have a video strategy when you are constantly repurposing your content. So let's dive into basic tips for better videos. Keep it short in length. We talked about attention, right? I know most people swear by their product. It's so amazing. It's so wonderful. But I have to ask, when was the last time you spent 30 minutes or 28 minutes watching a video about anybody's product? It's never going to happen, right? You want to keep it short and to the point. 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute max. For a lot of the videos, it performs better because it doesn't take up a lot of my time. You want to have heavy hitting things right in the first 35 to 40 seconds of your video. You want to capture somebody's attention. This is why a lot of the times you see people will have like a really juicy sound bite at the beginning of their video, and then it will appear sometimes later in the video because you want to capture attention as soon as possible. Having a strong call to action is also a big thing. You want to have a wavy call to action, right? And our call to action is me telling you to do something, right? Like and subscribe, or swipe up now to purchase. These are all calls to actions. It promotes the viewer to do something. You want to have a call to action in all of your videos so that people who are watching your videos can do something that matches or that suits your goals, right? You also want to make sure that your video matches your brand and your audience. We talked a lot about verticals, right? It makes no sense for, I don't know, a Fisher Price type company that sells toys to have like, I don't know, a heavy metal video. It's not matching up. The vibes is all out of whack. It's not going to translate well to their audience. You want to keep your audience in mind whenever you're doing any form of marketing. It's important that you keep your audience in mind whenever you're doing any form of marketing. That way you never lose the plot, right? When you know who you're talking to, you know how to talk to them properly, especially through photo and video, because certain people resonate with certain kind of things. You see what I'm saying? Very vibrant colors, really strong, bold colors resonate with a certain kind of people as opposed to more muted tones, earth tones and jewel tones. It's all about your audience. You want to make sure that you are matching your quality of your video and photo to your brand and your audience, and have great quality video. We're going to get into how to do that very shortly, right now actually. So let's dig in. So audio is one of the most important aspects about any video, right? Poor audio affects your quality the most. When we're talking about video, you want to make sure that your audio is top tier, right? Because I can watch a video with bad lighting. I can do that. But a video with poor audio, it's a struggle. It is really, really, really hard. And so in order to do that, let's look at some tips. Avoid noisy areas. Don't be filming in a bus stop. Don't be doing that. Don't be filming, train station. Don't be doing that. Try and find somewhere quiet and get your recording done. Remove low emitting noises from the area. So, your fan in your bedroom, gotta turn that off. Subwoofers, gotta turn that off. Like, if you have sometimes like some people, they go as far as unplugging all electronic devices. That's a bit mad in my opinion, but if that's your thing, that's your thing, Get up close and personal with your microphone. You want to be really close, 6 inches away, so you can kind of capture just you talking, right? And run tests before you go live with your final recording. There's nothing worse than recording a 10-minute video and realizing that, oh my gosh, I sound so bad. This is terrible. Record tests before you start recording finally. And use a good microphone. Goes without saying. For light. So, the quality of light that you use matters 10 times more than your camera. You can get great quality video with a terrible camera if you have great lighting. And that is the key to everything about videography. They don't tell you this, but the camera only goes so far. It becomes about light more than it becomes about camera. Poor cameras can do a lot with some great lighting, but the opposite, it's not going to fare too well. So, tips for that. Shoot in great light. If you have no light, the sun is your friend. You want to face the light source so that the sun is shining on you and illuminating you wonderfully, right? The more light, the better. Shooting in the highest resolution possible, avoiding harsh light. These are all tips for great lighting that you can do at home without having to buy anything, just using the sun alone, right? It's important. You want to aim for soft light all the time. Unless stylistically hard light appears to you more, then go that way. But most times you want to be focusing on soft light. 3-light setup. If you have the opportunity to get some lights, this is how you got to do it. 3-light setup. A fill light, a key light, and a backlight. This is the most universally used lighting setup of all time. It's very simple. The blue arrow is your fill light. Extremely bright. It gives you the first side of your face, makes it look really nice and dewy or whatever. The second light is the pink arrow, and it kind of fills in the shadows left by the key light, right? So you have like an even kind of look to your video. And the last thing is your hair light. And your hair light separates you from your background. So we have time for questions, but I kind of wanted to go through some gear that you could possibly pick up before we get to some questions. So the gear list, options to get started with, let's jump right in. So clamp lights, available at Home Depot, $20, right? If you get one, it will change your whole life. If you get 3, even better, right? Ring lights, super portable stuff. There's so many on Amazon, and you can do a whole bunch with these. They have phone holders. They come in different light temperatures. Like, anything is possible with some of these lights. Before you get to the big league stuff, these two are the two that I would start with. It's what I started with, and just kind of grow from there. If you want to spend a little bit more, we have a newer LED kit, $70, right? And it goes all the way up to like $100, $200 with 4 lights and stands and barn doors, the whole 9 yards. And what I use is like a professional budget light. It's the GOAT. It's the Godox 60-watt LED lamp. Super powerful, super bright, does whatever you need to do. And it's always reliable. This thing has never failed me. I will stand by it. I'm a big Godox stand because of this light right here. Audio equipment. Rode lavalier microphones are $100. iPhone headphones can do wonders for your audio stuff. If you want to go a little bit more, we have, the Rode VideoMic Pro, NTG 4 Plus. There's so much you can do with what you have available, right? I think we are near the end. Are we at the end? Yeah, we are. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna open up the floor for 4 questions. If there are any questions, now would be the time. We got 10 minutes left. I'm so sorry.
That's
But
all right.
yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. So, participants, if I can ask you to either type in your questions for the question and answer period, or put your hand up using the hand button in the participation toolkit, and I will be reading out some of the questions. So, Dan, we have one awesome question here from Nikki. I am recording a webinar that will be posted on YouTube. What program do you recommend I use if I'm working on a Mac computer?
Ooh, Nikki, that's a great question. I would say you can't go wrong with iMovie. I am a Windows guy personally, so that's what I don't use iMovie. But iMovie, it's so versatile. You can do so many different things. If you are using an external webcam, try and look for software that can allow you to integrate your webcam with your Mac, so you can use webcam quality. If you have a physical DSLR, I think most Canon cameras now have a utility that allows you to use your physical DSLR as a camera for your webcam webinars. So take a look at iMovie and pay attention to your webcam and your lighting.
Perfect. Um, what can okay? This question came in during when you were talking about iOS, uh, the F factor with
Right.
the 1.2. What
Yep.
camera are you talking about? Is it DSLR, or are you talking specifically iPhone or Android? So basically, I think the question is like changing the settings.
Right. Cool. So um, it's funny because these qualities, they go for all cameras, right? But they have like pro mode on your iPhone and on your Android, which allows you to do to edit all these type of things: your f-stop, your aperture, your ISO. Most new Androids and iPhones come with the ability to change all these. But this also pertains to DSLRs, right? This is the biggest factor of DSLRs. In manual mode, it gives you a whole bunch of control. So with a DSLR, you can change all these cool factors, but also on your iPhone and your Android, you can do the same thing. Find your pro mode and get fidgeting in there, and you can change all these things too.
Perfect. This is more a specific question from Rohit, which I think Rohit, I
Sure.
mean, you know Rohit from our
Yeah, yeah.
center.
Love
Uh,
that guy.
hey, Dan, you know about my grant writing service. Would a
Right.
hero image be a staff member with their hands in the air after winning a big grant? Can you think of a couple hero images for my service?
For sure. Yeah. So, Rohit, great question. Thank you so much. E-commerce is super easy to do because it's like your product, take a picture, you're done. With services, it's a little bit different, right? Um, Someone winning a grant with their hands up or with a check, that's a hero image. Somebody writing a grant, that's a hero image. People like, because your work is so unique and it's so out in the community, there are a bunch of things that you can use as hero images that aren't directly related to grant writing. Somebody doing community work is also a hero image because your grants allow people to do more community work. You see what I'm saying? So having people out in the community, whether it be handing out food or cleaning up a park or in a place of worship, you kind of want to think bigger than grant writing alone because your service is not only a grant writing service, but you are enabling charities to do their work. So charity work can be hero images, people writing stuff, hero images, receiving grant, hero images. You have to kind of think outside the box for that. But it's cool because you get access to so much more.
Perfect. I'm just gonna take off my video because the volume is cutting out. Sorry. Just give me 1 second. Uh, would it be possible to put back your gear list on screen?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem.
There's been a lot of questions about recommended gears
Okay.
in regards to mics.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to throw some suitable mics.
Right. Okay.
Um, what is the standard fee for a photographer to take about 30 minutes worth of photography commercial product commercials?
Product commercials. Okay, so
So I'm assuming they mean video 30.
e- exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so standard it depends.
Oh, 30
It
seconds. Sorry,
depends.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. It depends on the individual in which you're talking to, right? Um, it can range from very little to very high, right? Just because like you're dealing with different individuals, the standard fee, there is no standard fee, because everyone's doing things differently. Like I can get a great video done for $300, right? I can also get one done for $1,200. Like it depends on who you're talking to, but I would not expect to pay less than I would say 250. Um, it's it's a little pricey, but if you find people who are students who are doing like I don't know OCAD or kind of hustling, you can get some great quality stuff, because people are trying to establish themselves in the career. I would look for really entry level people to kind of communicate and partner with. Um, Please don't do exposure. Pay your service providers. It's mad rude. You want to be paying something, right? So free work doesn't really work in this field, but I would say like 250 and up is what you can expect. Um, but there are ways to do things yourself with your iPhone, so look into that also. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna actually help comment on that question too, if you don't mind, Dan.
shoot, no problem.
Yeah, there's also a lot of programs at the local colleges that do photography and videography, and sometimes the students want to utilize a small business to, show off their work in the class. So one of my recommendations is to reach out to places like our local Sheridan College here in Brampton or Humber College, to see if they do have students that are available for videography and for photography, right? As maybe as a starting point, to help you bootstrap your business. And then once you are able to make those sales, then you'll be able to hire someone a little bit more professionally. Or if you like the students, maybe you hire them professionally. Perfect. Is there a minimum resolution for pictures you would recommend for our e-commerce shop?
Ooh, good question. Good question. Uh, it depends on your platform. So I know if you're using WooCommerce, they are less picky. If you're using Etsy, they kind of want things to be 2,000 pixels by 2,000 pixels. If you're using Shopify, uh, it doesn't matter, but you kind of want to use. I don't want to say the smaller the better, but you have to kind of find you have to find the balance in between page load times and image size and quality, right? Because larger images are going to load your page slower. And that's a big problem when people are trying to buy things on your website. You don't want to have any barriers to purchases. You don't want to have anything that stops people from buying your product. So the faster your page loads, the better it is for you. I would say try and go for at least 1,000 by 1,000. But you can get away with less. I think nah. I think I would say 1,000 by 1,000 pixels is where you want to start if you're going square. Anything above that is great. Um, but yeah,
Actually, I have a really good question as a business advisor, I get quite a bit, and it would
hit
be
me.
great to get a professional to answer this. For videos, can we use product images with music, or would you recommend us using actual video footage of the products in our video for our videos?
Say that again for me, please.
So you know how some individuals just put, music with a few images? So it might be like 4 or 5 images of an iPhone as an example in 3 different
Right,
directions, and then put some
right.
really cool music behind it. Or should they
Yeah.
be actually doing sort of like a video of the product, um, in the video versus putting images and music?
Um, you know what? This is a question that I get all the time, and it's a tricky question because it depends, right? It depends on how you cut the video. So if you're just going to do images with some music, that's great. But there's a way to kind of do it in which it's not as basic as just images with some music on it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like If you want to add different kind of cuts or um, different transitions to kind of make your video look a little bit better, you can definitely do that. But once again, it's an alternative to actually taking a video of your product, which is the best. The best case scenario is you want to take a video of your product. That's the best case scenario. If you can't do that, then images with music will do. Um, yeah. Does that answer your question? I guess.
Yeah, I think that's that does answer the question. Erica asks, shooting in landscape mode versus portrait mode, which is better, or does it depend on the platform? Hello?
Hello. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I muted myself by accident.
Oh,
Um, it depends on the platform and it depends on the application, right? If you're shooting hero images, it's always best to go landscape, right? Because most times it's going on sliders, and our computers are landscape anyway. You kind of want it to match what you're viewing it on, right? You kind of want it to kind of fit properly. Putting a portrait image on a landscape device, on a landscape page, it doesn't really bode well, and you have a lot of blank space going on. It's not a good look. So if you're talking about hero images, it's best that you keep them landscape. If you're talking about product images, uh, most times I do them in landscape too, but it doesn't matter. Most times I feel like it doesn't matter because I'm going to crop them anyway to be square. So whatever gallery plugin you're using, see what works best in that plugin. Some galleries allow you to add both portrait and landscape photos to your galleries in your store. So you can use that also.
yeah. We're just out of time, so I promise that I'm going to be sending a copy of all the questions here that were answered. Um, and then forward it to Daniel, so he'll be able to answer you. Daniel, if someone wants to get, there's one more question. If someone wants to get in touch with you, how can they connect with you, buddy?
Oh, shoot. Yes. Um, I'm on Instagram, Daniel Gwira. I should have put that somewhere on here. I'm so sorry. But also calendly.com/Daniel Gwira. You can book a meeting with me. Actually, let me make something for you guys right now. Sorry, guys.
That's all right. Please know I will. One of our staff from the Brampton Entrepreneur Center will be sending out Daniel's contact. So if you have any additional questions, or if you want to reach out to the Brampton Entrepreneur Center, you're more than welcome to reach out. Again, today's session, Entrepreneurs Connect, was brought to you in partnership with TD Canada Trust. I just want to say special thank you to an awesome individual, Daniel Guerrera. He does work out of 41 George when we were open at the Brampton Entrepreneur Center. So if you do have any questions once we're open, he does work out of that space. So I would recommend you coming to visit him or shoot him an email or reach out to him through his Calendly. We'll send out all those contact information. And a special thank you to TD Bank for sponsoring Entrepreneurs Connect today. I just want to say if please visit www.brampton.ca/BEC for more workshops and other information that you can find out about your small business. And our advisors are here always to assist you if you do require any assistance with your small business. So I am going to end the call recording. The call today. The recording will be sent to you within the next day or two. So don't worry. And the links, I'm going to personally go into the presentation and pull up the awesome tool links that Daniel provided. So again, thank you, Daniel, for being with us here today at the Brampton Entrepreneur Center.
No problem. Thank you guys so much. I loved talking to you all. Hope to see you guys soon. Stay safe. Stay blessed.
Perfect.